Knock on the door, red dots all over me. Please, don't move! Basically, I just chopped the geezer up a little bit of an axe. He said, I'll come round and I'll put one in him in front of his kid.
Have you got a personal grudge with Muslims?
A lot of people want to end your fucking life. You know where you live? You fucking white cunt. You white people don't understand, bro. We fucking control it here. We will fucking put a bullet straight through your fucking head.
I disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. The camp voices. Hey, that's the bit I can't stand. Furries, mentally insane parents let their kids dress up and identify as an animal. They've got cat litter trays in the toilet. You can't wear makeup if you're a girl. If you're a boy and you want to pretend to be a girl, you're a lad. What if Steve, the 45-year-old bricklayer, now identifies as an 8-year-old girl? What, is he allowed to go and play in the park with all the other 8-year-old girls? Like Darren G.
What are your thoughts on him?
Complete and utter sausage. What an absolute scumbag. Basically, anyone who's normal is considered far right.
You're either going to get killed, cancelled, or sent to jail. Tommy, my inbox has been going mad. Have you seen Tommy Jacobs? Have you seen Tommy Jacobs? Have you seen some of the stuff he's saying? So I had a little look at a lot of your social media posts, and the remaining little bit of hair I had left on my head fell out, and I thought, man, this bloke doesn't give a monkeys. Some of the stuff I agree with, and I have to say some of the stuff I don't necessarily agree with, but this platform isn't about bringing on people that I agree with all the time. I want to know how you ended up where you are, and I've seen bits of your story, which is fascinating. So you got a real successful boxing background, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're a fighting man, you're an ex-con. Did you get banged up for attempted murder?
They nicked me for attempted murder, but he got dropped down to GBH. Basically, I just chopped the geezer up a little bit of an axe.
As you do. Let's take it back a little bit, but I do want to cover some of the things you've said on social media.
No problem.
But I don't know where to start. Fucking absolute madness. Let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your upbringing and your fighting.
Do you know what? Me and my two brothers, we didn't really get brought up. We got dragged up. My old man's an absolute liability. He's a despicable human. My mum's no good. We got dragged all around the country. I think I went to 12 different primary schools or something stupid like that, because every time my dad would get nicked, rather than go to court and face everything, we just up sticks and move. So my first place we ever lived was on the Percy King estate in Clacton. Absolute shithole estate. Every single person I know of there is all either in jail or been in jail or been murdered or killed someone. And but we just got dragged around. 1 minute we're in Clacton, next minute we're in London, next minute we're in Scotland, next minute we're back down Clacton. It was up and down the country. All that happened is every time the old man would get nicked, he'd go to jail, and then we'd just gravitate back down towards Essex.
What was he getting nicked for? What makes him a despicable man?
Back in the day, he was probably one of the most feared people you could ever potentially meet. People was petrified of him all over the gaff, because he was just so violent and so unpredictable. I've ended up having to weigh him in a couple of times myself because he's just ridiculous. But if you're just a normal bod, you're not a fighter or nothing like that, and you just got some geezer who just switches like that and turns on you, you can't do nothing.
And was he good with his hands as well?
To your normal Joe Public, yeah, he was a ridiculous, crazy fighter. Like when I first went in jail, the first thing that happened, every screws comes to me and went, "Oh my God, you're Dave Jacobs' boy." I'm like, "Yeah." "I remember when your dad coming here for beating up a Rottweiler." And I'm like, "Fuck's sake, that was years ago." So when I was a little toddler, I can't even remember it, probably 3 years old or something like that. One of my best mates now, and he's going to laugh his head off just because I'm going to mention the dog's name. He had a massive Rottweiler called Bruce. And I've gone over to the fence and the dog's gone for me. My dad's gone to push me out of the way. But when he's pushed me out of the way, I fell over and banged my head. So because I've banged my head, my dad's lost it, jumped over the fence, beat the dog up, bit the dog's nose off. And then the neighbours come out and, "What are you doing?" Blah, blah. So my dad's gone up and weighed him in as well. We obviously went to jail for it. But when I've got in nick, all the screws, they just found it hilarious. Like, your dad bit a dog's nose off. And it's like, he's just a fucking plum.
And a Rottweiler as well.
Yeah, a big lump as well, a big lump. And we still talk about it to this day, me and my pal, whose dad's dog it was. It's insane. And that was pretty much like my childhood. It was just,
Dysfunctional.
yeah. If I was a kid nowadays, I'd have 1,000,000% been put into care. Like I don't know how they managed to keep us out of the care system when we were children. Probably because they was moving all over the country.
What sort of stuff were you exposed to that was dysfunctional?
It's just pure violence, majority. Like
Abuse?
On that Percy King estate in Clacton, I'm being a kid looking out the window and you just got geezers out in the street chopping each other up with machetes and that. But that was like a weekly occurrence. It's mad. It was like the Wild West.
Did your dad push you towards boxing?
No, he didn't actually. So
because you was destined for greatness, like with Amir Khan and stuff, weren't you?
I was indeed. So he didn't push us towards it. No, we was living in Scotland, and my big brother he went and joined a boxing club in Peterhead, and he loved it. Nothing ever come of it because it was miles away. And when we've then ended up coming back down to England, we ended up in this little coastal town called Harwich, where basically I went through like secondary school and that while it lasted, and ended up boxing for Harwich Boxing Club. And my big brother, as soon as we landed there, he went, "Oh, I need to go and find a local boxing club." He went, "Do you want to come with me?" I was like, "Yeah, go on then, might as well." I watched it. I grew up watching like Prince Naseem, Ryan Rhodes, Robin Reed, watching them all late night on the telly. Enjoyed it, but I had no interest in doing it at all. He dragged me along to the boxing club back in, it's mad as well because I'm like Rain Man with boxing, so it would have been probably about July 1998. Walked through the doors and I've literally never looked back. Like that's been my life ever since. Boxing literally defines me. I love it. I've got a love-hate relationship with it, but I love it. And
yeah, what went wrong? Why didn't you go all the way pro?
What happened is I won loads of titles in the amateurs. I was captain of England. I was actually ranked above James DeGale when he won the Olympic gold medal. I boxed a lad in the NABC finals, like the British Championship finals, at Cafe Royal, called Travis Dickinson, very good fighter from Berkeley. I was winning against him, caught an elbow to the top lip, and it got stopped because I had a massive cut across my top lip. He'd just knocked out George Groves and then beat George Groves on points as well. George Groves had just beaten James DeGale in the ABAs. So when we've gone back to England training, the coach, Jim Davison, turned around and went, "Right, boys, so this is the rankings." There was me, George, Travis, and then there was James DeGale in fourth place. And he went, "But what we're going to do is we're going to send James to the Olympic qualifiers." And we're all like, "What do you mean? Like, you just told us we're ranked above him." And I went, "Yeah, but where he's that little bit older, he's got senior international experience. Where we'd only had junior and youth international experience." It was like, and it was the right decision because he went and won the Olympic gold medal and absolute phenomenal fighter. And whether or not they put me ranked above him at the time, I would never have beat James DeGale at that time, never in a million years, anyways. But it frustrates you. I had a couple of losses that was very, very iffy. Like you do in boxing, it's so corrupt. I had a couple of losses that was very iffy, and I just thought, right, I've had enough of this. So I started just being myself and being up to no good. All I ever knew was a bit of criminality. I went and got myself a flat and left school. I was like, I don't know, however old you are in year 9 at school. I got kicked. My mum was moaning because they kept saying they was going to take her to court and fine her because I weren't turning up to school. I went, "Don't worry, I'll sort that." I went to school that next day and just got expelled permanently. So I was like, "No fines now, is it?"
What did you do?
My form tutor, I was this gay teacher. So I've just gone in and I've just terrored him. I was just like, "You're a fucking poofter." And he's then turned around and said, "Right, girls, you all need to get out of the room. You don't need to hear this." I said, "No, it's because you want to be alone with the boys, isn't it?" And he's obviously backfired. And I just took the piss. I was an horrible little bugger when I was a little kid. I was terrible. I terrored him, but got kicked out. Got what I wanted. Went and got myself a flat. Went and got myself a job. It was still hard work, so make ends meet. I was selling a bit of puff and things like that just to make ends meet. My poor little brother, bless his heart, he was still living at home. My big brother had moved out with his bird, so he's buggered. So I'm having to make money to pay my bills and go and help my little brother out and buy him trainers and that, so he ain't got to go to school in my old trainers, because that's what life was like for us. It was hand-me-downs and absolute rubbish. And yeah, I got in with I ain't going to say for 1 minute I got in with the wrong crowd, because every decision I made myself, and it was a very informed decision. I didn't really have much of a choice, and I didn't really know anything other than criminality and being a toe rag. So I was up to no good, selling all sorts, and got involved with this geezer. So basically, some geezer, he had a load of grow houses, and his grow house had got robbed. So he turned around and said, "Listen, I need you to help me." So, well, what do you want me to do? He went, "Well, everyone knows you. You know everyone. If you put your name saying, no one's going to touch it." He says, "So I need you to find out who's done this grow house, and I need you to put a stop to it." I went, "Yeah, all right, sweet." So a couple of days later, I rang him up, said, "All right, mate." He went, "Yeah." I said, "Right, I'm at this address here." He went, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, come round." So he's come round, I've got the kid tied to a chair who'd done his grow house. He's like, "What the fuck's going on here?" I said, "Well, you said you wanted the geezer who's done your house." He went, "Yeah, what am I supposed to do?" I was like, "I don't know. You said you want to know who done it." I said, "That's him." And he was like, "Oh, well, what do I do?" I said, "I don't know. You asked me to get him, so I got him." And he went, "Look, can you just put a stop to it?" I said, "No problem. It won't ever happen again." And he went, "All right, because of that," he went, "me and you, we can go half some things." I went, "All right, sweet." I've gone and sourced a load of the equipment and all that, all the hydroponic stuff, and got the new babies to grow and everything with it. I just left him to it. I left him to it. He knows what he done. He was like a professor in this field. Left him to it, and every few months I just had a big car of money, which was lovely. And it happened a few times, and then the excuses, "Oh, this one's got spider mite," or "This has happened to this grow, this has happened to that grow." Just kept making excuses. And I, at the time, had sort of grown up a little bit, and I thought, "Do you know what? Wipe my mouth of it. It's no big deal." But then one night I'm in a pub, and I'm with my pal, and he's round the other side of the pub, and he's giving it the big one about how much money he's got, and he's flashing all this dough about this, that and the other. So my pal's gone round to him and said, "Listen, you've ripped Tommy off. You need to sort him out." And he went, "Sod him. He's gone soft since he had a kid. If he wants anything," he said, "I'll come round and I'll put one in him in front of his kid." Now, obviously, he was my business partner, so I know him and I know what he's like. And he's turned up on people's doorsteps and let shots go in the past. So I thought, you cheeky mug. Like, that's a bit of a liberty. I thought I just had a little baby, 6 months old at the time. Another mental story. So I thought, no, I ain't having it. So I thought, I'll just go around, and I knew obviously the timings of when the crop's supposed to be done. So I thought, well, right about now he's supposed to have a crop done. So I went round there with a few of the boys, and we've obviously gone round, tooled up to chop the crops down. Sent the geezer to the door to like basically get away. And I said, "Right, look, you go to the door, knock on the door." I said, "Ask for anyone's name except Bob. And then when he turns round, we'll just bundle in. We'll get in there, we'll tie him up, we'll just go and chop everything down, and we'll go." I said, "I'll give you all a lovely drink out of it." He turned around and went, "Yeah, right, sweet." He said, "So what name?" I said, "Any name except Bob." He went, "Right." He's knocked on the door. He went, "Hello, mate, it's Robert here." And the geezer went, "Yeah, what do you want?" And he went, So he had a little machete down the back of his pants. So he's pulled the machete out and he's hit him in the nut, but he's hit him with the flat side of it. So he's like spammed him straight in the nut with it. So old mate, he's dragged him in the house and started weighing him in. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, this was supposed to be a nice, easy, quick earner.
No violence.
Yeah. So obviously I've gone to go in the door, and old mate, he's put his arm across, blocked the door. So I've had to chop him in the arm a few times to get the door open. So right, sent someone upstairs. He said, "No, it's all gone. It's all just recently been chopped down." I was like, "Right, if that's all gone, you've obviously got dough here. Where's the dough?" Now we're putting on moody voices. We're head to toe in black, balaclavas on the lot. And this cheeky geezer went, oh, I haven't got none. I ain't got none. If you want any money, the man who's got all the money around here is Tommy Jacobs. This could have been anyone. This could have been a right handy, horrible firm. And he's now just dropped me my name and sending him round to wife. So I've hit him in the canister a couple of times, opened him up a little bit, and that was pretty much it. We got out of the way. I had a business partner who was living in Cambridge, so I've got on my toes and went up there for a little while. We had an house up there until I thought it was sort of half safe to come back. So a friend of mine who was a friend of his turned around and went, Tom, so-and-so wants to talk to you. I said, all right, no problem. He went, well, don't come like empty-handed. He's like, he's a bit naughty. He's like, bring a pinger with you. And I thought, you know what? I'm going around to this geezer's house, not the geezer we were going to meet. I'm going around to like my friend's house. I thought, that's not going to happen. I thought, nah, I'll go around and see what he's got to say. Got around there and the geezer turned around and went, blah, 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 blah. You've done this, you've done that. Expect repercussion. I've explained to him the story and he went, well, he said, in my eyes, he deserves it. And I went, well, that's cool, but I don't want to be getting nicked for it. And he went, don't expect to get nicked. He went, he's not going to bubble you up. He's as staunch as they come. He went, but he's going to come after you and he's going to iron you out. I was like, lovely. Like, I don't care if the old Bill ain't after me, that's sweet. If I've just got some has-been gangster who wants to iron me out, lovely, I'll have some of that. And thought nothing of it. So I've gone down to the old Bill station, I've gone straight into Clacton Old Bill station, rung the buzzer, and as I'm standing there, the bird behind the counter, her face has changed. She's like, one second, she's got on the phone, and I could see them all like rushing round in the windows behind. And she's like, yeah, one moment. And I've looked behind, there's now old Bill at the front entrance, all armed old Bill. I thought, oh, bloody hell, it's a bit strong, isn't it? And CID's come through, and he went, oh, you've come to hand yourself in, have you?
𝐶hange are proudly sponsoring the channel. They're the UK's #1 e-commerce mentoring program, taking you step by step through building your own business with no experience needed. I've seen their members make life-changing money and free up real time to spend with their families. Success doesn't happen overnight. You've got to put the work in. The more you put in, the more you get out. What really stands out is their community. It's ram-packed with like-minded people who genuinely support each other. You get one-on-one training, online courses, and group seminars, so you're never left on your own. If you're serious about building something new for yourself, message Ryan on Instagram at RyanJB.
I said, hand myself in. What are you on about? He went, well, you know what we're about. I said, no. I said, I've been on holiday and you've kicked my door in. He was like, what? I said, my door's got a big hole in it. You've kicked it in. And he went, yeah, but you know what? I was like, no, I don't know why. What are you talking about? So he took me in for the interview. And there was literally, the geezer had made a statement saying 4 black geezers had turned up to his house in balaclavas. He didn't know who they were. There was only one of them who weren't wearing a balaclava, who was white actually. And he said he'd recognise him again if he saw him. The police had pressured him and said, was it Tommy Jacobs? He turned around and said, no. He said the 3 in balaclavas were all black. The other one was white. I don't recognise him, but I would recognise him if I see him again. So obviously I got released, no charge. Like, I was like, lovely, sweet. I went about my normal life, day-to-day life as usual, and then lying on the sofa in my flat one morning, knock on the door. I thought, oh, what's this? I thought it was my little brother. So I've just got, I'm standing there in my pants, I've opened the door, and I've got red dots all over me. So what's going on now? And we're going to rearrest you for the attempted murder, blah. I was like, for what? He was like, we've got new evidence. So they've took me in. Now I'm just like, yeah, just no comment all the way. The new evidence was he'd changed his statement and said, I lied in my first statement, it was Tommy. So I thought, well, that can't stand. I thought, then surely no court of law is it going to stand that his actual statement says, I lied, it was Tommy. I thought, no one's going to believe that. No one can believe someone who's admitting to being a liar, surely. My brief at the time, he was like, yeah. He's like, you're going to be sweet. It's going to be absolutely fine. Went on remand for a while. obviously ended up going to trial, and yeah, they just found us guilty straight away.
How long did you get?
So I got 12 years. It's only GBH as well. I got 12 years for GBH. Like,
So they reduced the charge.
so it's GBH, Section 18.
What damage did you actually do to the person?
So he had a broken skull a little bit, and I think he had like 100 odd staples and stitches in his head and quite a few in his arms and all that. But it weren't. It sounds a lot worse than it is. The reality is, I took a drug dealer off the street for 24 hours. He was in and out of hospital within 24 hours. But obviously when they put it in the newspaper, mad axe attack, man's got 100 stitches in his head and bone fragments flying out here, there and everywhere. It sounds a lot worse than it is. He was in and out of hospital within 24 hours.
Was that your first stint in jail?
I'd done a couple of little ones when I was a kid in Warren Hill, mainly for driving and having like tear-ups and that, but nothing extreme. Warren Hill, like the kids' jail, that was a bit mental.
Yeah, violent.
Everyone in there has got a point to prove. They've all got a chip on their shoulder, all got a point to prove.
Were you a target because you're a known boxer?
No, do you know what? So I walked onto Warren Hill. When I walked in there, I think Gipping Wing. So I've gone in there. It's now Lifer's jail, I believe, but it was YOI at the time. I've got on landing. I'm thinking, right, what's going on here then? Like, lay down in bed and you hear, "Oi, no boy." Like, here we go. So out the window, I was like, "Yeah? What have you got for me?" "What do you mean, mate? What have you got? What have you come in with? What's it got to do with you?" "Yeah, we're going to come see you in the morning, take your stuff and that." It's all right. I said, "Make sure there's a few of you, because I'm going to smash life at you." And they was like, yeah, like giving it all the big and that. And then open the cell in the morning, walk out. I'm like, who was it that wants? No one says nothing. It's weird. Like when you're in the nick, if you've got a bit of a victim personality, you are going to get absolutely terrored. If you just don't give monkeys and you go, "Yeah, go on then," they'll leave you alone. And if you're a funny geezer, you're going to have the best time ever because people just love you because everyone's having an awful time. And if you can make people laugh, then they have it. So, yeah, no, Warren Hill was like nuts. People stabbing each other daily. That was insane. Warren Hill was crazy. Like the few little months done there when I was a kid, you see a lot more violence and a lot more craziness than the sentence I'd done as an adult. Was insane.
How does it feel when the hammer comes down and the judge says that you've got 12 years in jail?
Oh, do you know what? When I was getting sentenced, there's a sentence out. It's now been abolished because it's deemed inhumane by the European Court of Human Rights. There was a sentence at the time called the IPP, which is indefinite sentence for public protection. And at the time, they was giving them out like sweets. Like, they was brought into effect for crimes against a person. I think originally they brought them in for basically people who were a bit noncy and violent crimes as well. But they only give them to violent offenders. So they was giving them out to everyone. So like by the time I come to my end of my sentence, I met a geezer in 𝐿𝐶𝐫𝐸 open jail who got a 28-day IPP and he'd served almost 10 years at that point. So like IPP was the worst thing ever. It's effectively it's a life sentence. So you get your IPP, they give you a tariff. You could potentially get out on that tariff, but no one ever does. But once you do eventually get out, you've got a 99-year licence, and you do the slightest thing ever, you get recalled. However, because it's not a life sentence, you're not considered a lifer prisoner. So when you go to normal jails, you won't get put onto a lifer wing or a lifer unit. You just get put into normal population. You don't get any treatment that lifer prisoners get. And when you first get nicked, they do what they call a sentence plan. So mine was I had to do a certain course on violence, had to stay on the enhanced regime, so like behave yourself basically and not get any nickings, things like that. When you get an IPP, you might get a year IPP sentence and you think, well, I've got a chance of getting out of here. But then when they do your sentence plan, they'll give you 2 years worth of courses. So like they're setting you up to fail before it even began. And there's still a lot of people that are in the system now rotting on IPP. They've banned it and they can't give it to no one else. But there's still people in the system now on an IPP sentence that've got no release date and they're just hoping that they might get their next parole. It's crazy.
What was you like as a person in prison? Did you have a persona, or did you keep yourself to yourself? Were you lively? Were you a problem?
Oh no, I was never a problem. I was one of the most liked and well respected people in the prison service. Everyone liked me. Everyone liked me. I've got the vast majority of my friends now. I probably met when I was in Nick. I was just a normal geezer. I didn't take no shit off no one. No one really give me any rubbish. And I was obviously, everyone knew that I boxed, so I'm always in the gym.
Did you train a few lads in there?
Yeah, so in Chelmsford, Nick, they used to let us into the back of the sports hall, and I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to get him in trouble. One of the gym screws there, who I actually work with now on rehabilitating little young offenders and that. So they used to let us into, they used to have a big storage garage at the back of the sports hall, and they'd let us in there and basically just let us in there and have sparring. So I'd have like 20 geezers in there, all punching lumps out of each other, but he'd only let them in there if I was there. Everyone would be like, oh, can we go in there and spar? They're like, no, Tommy ain't here. They're like, oh, what? They're like, no, we only do it if Tommy's here. Because I was the one who knew what I was doing and knew what it was about. I ran a marathon in Chelmsford on the day of the London Marathon as well. Set up to do a marathon in there, and I raised about $3 and a bit grand for Great Ormond Street Hospital, which when you think about it at the time is actually insane because I'm raising this money off of prisoners who are donating from their wages, which at the time the average wage in Chelmsford was about £7 a week. And I managed to get about $3.5 grand for Great Ormond Street. And subsequently, I won a thing called the High Sheriff Award, the High Sheriff of Essex Award, which someone told me recently that actually winning that award gives me the right to bear arms under old constitutional law in this country because the High Sheriff is apparently older than the monarchy. And apparently winning that award has got some old bylaw from many, many years ago that gives me the right to bear arms. I don't know how true that is, but it was quite an interesting thing. So
I wonder how many people think, I fucking hope not.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look into it. It was actually an MP who told me it, and I was like, wow, that might be good. So
how long of the 12 did you actually serve?
So at the time, you'd do 50% of your sentence. So I'd done 6 years. So like when I got sentenced, they said, right, we sentenced you 12 years. I was like, yes, brilliant. My briefs turned around and went, what do you mean brilliant? I said, I've got a release date. He's like, you just got 12 years for GBH. Most people get 2 or 3 years. I said, I don't care. I've got a release date.
So did you think you were going to get IPP'd off?
I thought I was getting IPP because everyone was getting it at the time.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting it. But so what they do their psychological reports on you. And what they said with me is that I use expressive violence rather than I use instrumental violence rather than expressive violence. And I was like, well, what do you mean? They said, well, someone who uses expressive violence would be like someone if you're in the pub and someone bangs into you and you spill your beer and you lose your temper and you give someone a clump. It was like, that's not you. You haven't got a temper at all. It was like, you're very capable. You know your capabilities and you use them to get what you want. So like, although it's not a good thing, it was like, it's a lot less risky than someone who might get bumped into on the street and lose their temper and start flying into people. And allegedly, that's the reason why I didn't get the IPP, which I was over the moon about that.
Was there any reflection points where you was in jail where you thought, I shouldn't have done that, I don't like that, I'm going to change that? Was there any kind of, did you rehabilitate yourself in there?
I don't actually think I needed to be rehabilitated at all. The geezer took liberties, and if I was put in the same situation again, I'd probably go and do exactly the same thing again. However, the second I walked onto F wing, which was the induction wing in Chelmsford at the time, I was like, this ain't for me. I was like, this is not for me. You're just surrounded by junkies and scumbags and roadmen giving it a big one, and it's like, this ain't a bit of me. I'm not destined for this life. This is not me. I'm I'm too good to be in this place with all these scumbags, because I don't give monkeys what anyone says. Whatever you, if you go to jail, you're a complete and utter mug. And I was a big mug for ending up in there, and I was surrounded by even bigger mugs. And I was like, nah, this isn't for me. From literally the second I walked in there, and I think that was evident. Like I get, like I say, I've got one of the old gym screws, who's, since I got released, he contacted me straight away and says, right, Tom, we now work with Bernardo's. We need to get together and do some work. And so we've got accredited programs that I've designed with Bernardo's for young offenders and things like that to keep them off the streets. One of them's called Touch Gloves. The other one's called On the Ropes. It's like steering kids away from like the county line stuff and all the drug dealing stuff, and where they're getting roped into things. And they'll bring young offenders to my gym in groups of them, big groups of them, and they'll say, like, we'll put them through all these different tasks. They'll give them all stuff to do. And at the end of it, they gain an actual accredited qualification to say that they've done it, which bodes well for them when they have to try and get themselves into another school or try and get themselves off of anything in court and things like that. It's done really well, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I work in schools on a I haven't done that for a little while, but on a regular basis. I got asked to do a full-time job in one of the local schools when they're done a talk. And like when I'm teaching the kids in my gym, the little kids, you won't hear a bad word come out of my mouth. When I'm just talking to normal people, I'm very desensitised. I'm effing and blinding non-stop. So when I'm in, and they went, look, just be yourself. And I had to go and host an assembly in Clacton Coastal Academy. It used to be called Colbane's when I was at school. And it's like the naughty kids' school in Clacton. All the little toe rags go there. And he's like, right, you're going to have to host the assembly. I was like, all right, sweet. And I just did it as myself. This can happen to you, and Nick, this can happen to you, you're this, you're that. And no holds barred. And afterwards, the geezer who was the screw, he's turned around and went, I think you've buggered us. I said, what do you mean? He went, you can't talk like that to kids. I said, you told me to be myself.
Did you give him any cautionary tales as to like what really goes on in jail?
Yeah, I told everything. In fact, one of my boxers, Dean Porter, he won't mind mentioning it. It's one of the boxers he's just boxed twice on DAZN over in Germany on the biggest platform in the world. He's been over there and boxed twice professionally. He actually was one of the people that come into Chelmsford, Nick, when I was there, because we was doing, I can't remember, I think this one might have been like a rugby course or something at the time. But basically we'd get all these, they'd bring the little kids in and we'd have to tell them, say, listen, mate, this is going to happen if you end up in jail. And that little fat twat had a tear up in the prison gym when he was there trying to be told not to be naughty. And he's one of my very, very good friends. Obviously, he's a few years younger than me, but he come in there and we'd have to give him all the cautionary tales and this will happen, that will happen. And it's very. I had one message me a couple of days ago, and he's like, Tom, I'm really, really fat. I'm really, really overweight. Can you help me? I said, of course I can. He's like, I used to come to you when you used to have the naughty kids and that. He's like, can you help? I said, of course. I said, get in there. And I still get and reach out every now and again, like young kids that I've helped, and they love it. Like one of the lads, bless his heart, he jumped off Clacton Pier like we always do with his kids, and he passed away, drowned in the water. And so I've done a spar-a-thon at my gym. So basically just invited all the naughty kids who I've been training and anyone else who wanted to. I said, look, chuck a $5 in and you can all do a round with me. I said, anyone, like, and I think I've done something stupid, like about 55 rounds in a row with pro boxers, amateur boxers, unlicensed boxers, little toe rags off the street and everything. But we raised a big chunk of money that went to his family to help raise money to help with funeral costs or whatever. And I think they've got like a plaque in the school now that each year someone wins in honour of his name, like because of what we done. So Yeah, it's good. I get a lot back from helping a lot of the.
You're putting some good back into the community now. When you was in jail, did you come across any of the household names that you read about?
Big names locally, but none of the proper household names that you'd think of. No, so I'd done the first couple of years in Chelmsford, and I had a very good time considering you're in jail. Like me and the boys who was in there, we made the best of a bad situation, and we had a right laugh. And I was on reception, and we was getting parcels in left, right, and centre. I was earning an absolute fortune. Then I got moved to High Point, which at the time was known as Knife Point. And I really didn't want to go because I had it so cushy in Chelmsford. I didn't want to go. But I got to High Point, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I'd come here earlier. It was so much easier, so much more relaxed. There was a lot more madness going on. All the roadmen and that, all chopping each other up and stabbing each other left, right and centre and sticking spoons up each other's bums to pull parcels out when they know someone's come from another jail and all that. That was a bit mental. Dave Courtney was in there with us actually.
So how old are you then?
I'm well old. I'm 38. So I've been out of jail for like over 10 years.
And when you come out of jail, did you just go straight immediately, or was you tempted back into that life?
So I went to 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿𝐷𝐵, which is the DCAT, and I had the best licence conditions there was. So when you're in there, you get what they call a ROTL, released on temporary licence. So it's where you can go to work. So most people, they'll work 5 days and then they get what they call a home leave. Or no, they get a town visit, sorry. So they work for 5 days and on the Saturday or Sunday, they'll go out with their family for a few hours. We changed my licence to be 6 days of work. So I opened up a boxing gym in Clacton and that was my work. And we changed it so I could do that 6 days a week. So I was out of jail from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, 6 days a week. When I actually got out of nick, people thought I'd already been out for a couple of years. They didn't realise I was still in the nick because I was out and about and people would see me. But obviously I just have to go home every night, which was an absolute bloody nightmare.
And have you been doing that since the boxing gym?
So there's amateur boxing, there's professional boxing, and you'd get the odd unlicensed show. And there was probably 1 or 2 promoters in the whole country. But when I went away, and I'd planned a show just before I went away, but obviously got nicked, so it didn't happen. So when I come out, I was like, right, I'm going to reignite that. Basically, what I wanted to do was these unlicensed shows. They was brilliant. They give people a chance to get in there and showcase their skills and all that and earn a bit of money, but they wasn't run very well.
Well, you said the boxing industry is corrupt earlier, and I thought I'm going to come back to that and ask you what you mean.
It's the most corrupt thing you've ever seen in your life. So I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own platform, the Essex Boxing Organisation, and it's going to be run the same as professional boxing. However, it's going to be real. It's not going to be fake at all, but it's going to be accessible. So you don't have to have boxed since you're 10 years old like me. You don't like. I've had one of my mates that had his debut on my show at 52 years old, and as long as they can be matched safely and fairly, my thoughts on it is why can't everyone feel the euphoria of this sport, because it is the most amazing thing in the world, especially if you haven't got the corruptness and the dodginess involved. So we created that, and it's grown from strength to strength, putting on pro shows and having title fights. Like we headlined the BBC website from some of the shows we've put on, and we've done some absolute amazing things. And that was what as soon as I come out, I was like, right, I'm going to get me nut into that. I'm going to get that sorted. I had every opportunity I wanted to go back down the wrong path if I wanted to. Obviously, being in jail for years, you've got every contact you could ever imagine. Yeah. Prison's insane because obviously the idea of rehabilitation, that is brilliant, but you're just putting loads of criminals together.
To network.
I could have done whatever I wanted when I come out of nick on the dodgy side of things. But I got out and within a few weeks, my then missus was pregnant, and the second she said I'm pregnant, that was it. I'm I'm white, never going to commit a crime for the rest of my life. And touch wood, I haven't had to.
I mean, obviously, apart from criminality, chopping people up, attempted murders, and all the other madness that you've just rattled off, you do seem like a reasonable bloke. And everybody can change if they choose to. And not everybody's got the perfect past, but I think, you can turn the page and move chapters and become a wonderful human being. And up to date, you seem like very reasonable. So I want to know how you become such a controversial figure online and why my DMs have been blowing up saying you've got to watch Tommy Jacobs because he's coming out with absolute madness. So, yeah, talk me through all that and like what repercussions has had. And because I'm seeing people calling you racist, far right, the usual slurs.
Yeah.
But is there any truth to any of that? Or could you have said a few things that could be taken?
There's not one bit of truth in it at all. So anyone who knows, and anyone in the boxing industry can talk, you couldn't be involved in this sport if you was a racist at all. It's impossible. It's the most diverse industry in the world.
I did think this.
It is like so diverse.
I'm sure you've sparred with many a person with different skin pigmentation.
𝐼𝐶𝐿, I'm in his autobiography. So, he was one of my main sparring partners on the England team. Bradley Skeet, he's one of my best friends in boxing. He's black. Like, my gym is full of foreigners. My gym has got more foreigners than it has English people. And we all take the absolute mick out of each other constantly, including myself. And it's everything's said tongue-in-cheek, everything's a laugh and all that. But how we got round to the social media post, so I'd done a boxing show last Christmas. So my first ever boxing show was called Santa Slugfest. It was at Christmas time. Every year we have the annual Santa Slugfest. We try and make it a real big deal every year. So the Christmas just gone, we done it at a venue in Chad Relief, Romford, called the Mayfair venue. They charged an absolute fortune, charged me right over the odds. Whilst I was there speaking to other people that work with them on a regular basis, found out that they'd nearly double charged me. But I'd already signed the thing, had to go with it. So I was like, I'll go with it, and made it work and made the show go ahead. Anyway, then I kept seeing this Sikh geezer on Instagram, Harman Kapoor, and he kept sharing out about how he's getting all this abuse because he won't serve halal food. I'm sure you've seen him. So I was like, fair enough, like, seems like a nice geezer. So on Mother's Day, like, I couldn't give a monkey about my mum, so I don't have sod all to do with her. I thought I'm going to go up there and just get a curry. I thought I'd go and show him a bit of support. So I've gone up there and bought a curry and all that, and I've posted, I think it was possibly my first ever actual reel. Post up a reel saying, just gone down to get a curry with this geezer. He don't support halal slaughter, and he won't serve halal food in his shop. And off the back of it, he's getting repercussions left, right and centre, this, that and the other. So if you're in the area of Hammersmith, go and grab yourself a curry. I posted it up, and the next day, I got a phone call off the venue. So obviously, I went there on Mothering Sunday. On the Monday, I got a call off the venue. Bearing in mind, I had a show there the following Saturday, so 5 days later. And they went, so it's run by Muslims, said, oh, so you think it's good to support that Islamophobic person? I was like, what do you mean? He said, you've just been down there and posted up a reel saying that it's really good that you don't serve halal food. I was like, what's your point? He was like, well, you don't want to work with Muslims then, do you? I said, it's just business, mate. I said, like, forget about that. I said, it's business. And so they've turned around and went, well, no, we don't really want you to put your shows on here then. I said, all right, then, fine. I said, give me my money back. I'd already paid. So they now dropped the price to $6,000. I said, give us my dough back and I won't do no more shows there. And they went, no, we ain't got it. You'll have to wait till the accountant's back next week before we can give you the money back. I said, what do you need your accountant for? You made me come pay you in cash. Oh, yeah, but we banked it. I said, well, what'd you bank it for if you're going to if you made me pay in cash. Like nothing's adding up. He was like, look, give it till next week. I said, all right, cool. So now it's now Monday. I've got a show on a Saturday. All the boxers, all the ticket buyers, everyone. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I've had to change the venue to a gaff more local to me, nightclub in Colchester. It caused an absolute uproar with all the boxers, of course, because they're selling tickets on the basis of boxing in Romford, and now they're boxing nearly an hour away. Like they're going to lose ticket sales, they're going to lose that. It caused an absolute nightmare. The show still went ahead without nothing bad happening. The show still went out. We lost a couple of fights that pulled out for obvious reasons. And I was thought, right, I can't really say nothing because I don't want to upset these people to the point that they don't give me my money back. So I'm saying to the boxer, listen, sorry, it's changed, it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it. I said, but give it a week or two and I'll tell you the exact reason why we had to move the venue. Because I'm thinking, I've got to give him, he said he's going to pay me back when the account comes back. I've got to give him the opportunity because £6,000 of money that I can't afford to lose. Obviously, they didn't do it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to blow my Instagram up. And I thought, what I'll do is I'll just get my Instagram to a point where I'm getting loads of views and I'll just slaughter them online. So I thought, I can't go down there and start kicking off. I'll get nicked straight away. So I thought, if I kill them on social media, then it'll potentially hit them where it hurts, in the pocket. So that was like pretty much my first reel. And I'd done a couple of reels. And then people started sending me videos. And I'd react to them. And it literally just blew up. And I'll get probably 200-300 messages a day. I've got 2 different Instagram accounts. I get 200-300 messages down each one where people just send me reels to react to. And I'll literally just give my opinion on it. And I'll go hard on it to get a reaction. People love it.
I've noticed that you respond to trolls. So if someone trolls you, leaving you a shitty comment, threatening you or saying something, you respond and you add a fair bit of VAT on top. Is that a fair thing to say?
Every time.
Let me tell you about the one thing that I thought was probably pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, go on.
And I've also heard a phone call that you received, which if we can try and get a way of playing it here, just so we know our levels can escalate,
of course,
through social media, because it can spill into real life. Someone, I can't remember what they said to you word for word, you'll know better than me, but you responded using the P word, telling them they stank, and then a load of people piled on that because they focused on your reaction. And the outrage was not on the threat the person made to you. The outrage seemed to be that you used the P word.
Oh, yeah.
We have to use the P word. I mean, nothing offends me, but I can appreciate how that could offend somebody that was a Pakistani.
Yeah.
For example. So, in your own words, explain the thought process behind using that word. And then if we can play that conversation.
Yeah, by all means.
That you had. But yeah, just...
I can't remember what the geezer said, but he's left a comment something along the lines of something to do with family, this, that and the other, and I'll do this, I'll do that to your family. And I said, all right then, go on then, you silly P word, blah, blah, blah. So while you're at it, try not to go for any goats, try not to touch any little kids, try not to marry your cousin, blah, blah, blah. And it's now been probably 1 in 10 videos I do gets taken down and deleted. I don't know whether it's people complaining or whatever or reporting them, but it now got taken down. But yeah, I get a lot of backlash from it. So
when I was doing research for today, I see a couple of posts that I did honestly think you're either going to get killed, cancelled, or sent to jail for some of the things that you're putting out on social media. And then you play me a phone call that you received. Can we play that?
Yeah, I'll play it now for you. I was just sitting in bed. I said, right, record this. I'll play it. I'll play it into the mic now. It's quite a funny one.
It's quite shocking.
Hello.
Is this the boxing gym in Colchester?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Is this Tommy speaking?
Yes.
Is this Tommy speaking? Yeah.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Are you there now?
No, mate. No.
Because there's a few of us that just want to come and have a word with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not there at the moment, mate.
Tell you something. I'm just gonna tell you nicely, yeah. In the last couple of days, and I'm not even like being big-headed or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to end your fucking life. Yeah. They know where you live. They know your gym. They know everything about you.
Okay, mate.
And they're ready to fucking roll up now. I'm telling you now. I think you used the P word. Yeah, online or something, and you've done some interviews. They're in their fucking thousands. They want to roll up from Birmingham, Manchester. These fucking packies are fucking. They want to fucking do you over.
Okay, mate.
Yeah. Do you want to say sorry?
Sorry for what?
For using the packy word and Muslims.
Mate.
These brothers are gonna roll up to Colchester. I promise you, brother. They're gonna fucking rip you up.
So I don't see what's wrong with calling someone from Pakistan a Paki. Same as you people call us a Brit.
So you're saying it's alright to call them a packy, yeah?
Or someone calling someone from Turkey a Turk. Or someone from Japan a Jap.
Yeah, but you used it in a racist way, isn't it?
Well,
don't worry, when we roll up, don't worry, when they roll up, you'll see, innit? You'll see. You fucking wet cunt. You fucking wet cunt. We fucking, listen, prisons, anything, we fucking control it here. You white people don't understand, brother. We ain't scared of death. We will fucking shot man up, bro. We're not like, you see white people like, you lot are very divided and whatever, bro. We'll roll up, bro. We will fucking put a bullet straight through your fucking head. The prison, when you went prison, I'm sure there was Muslims there, like, the Muslims control it. You can't open your mouth like that. And I'm not even hyping you up, but these men are fucking, they want to roll up to your gym. They're ready, bro. In the fucking hundreds or thousands. They're going to fucking open your fucking body up. They're literally going to cut you open whilst you're alive.
okay, mate.
That's a serious phone call to receive. The irony is he's calling you a white cunt and claiming that you're racist. You can't have it both ways.
It's ridiculous. I get it all the time. I'll get people will inbox me and say, if I knew where you were, blah, 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 I'm here. I say, right, I'll come and see you now. And as soon as I say that, they then block me. I think, what was your point in that then? And I get that all the time is, you white, CUNT, you white this, you white that.
Have you got a personal grudge with Muslims?
Not at all. So again, my gym, I've got 2 Egyptian Muslims who are regulars. I've got 2 Pakistani Muslims who are regulars, and I've got about 5 or 6 Albanian Muslims who are regulars. And we all get on like an house on fire because none of them want the fundamentalist stuff. None of them agree with the Sharia law, we've got to turn this country into Pakistan. We need to have women covering up. None of them agree with all that stuff. All of them are pretty much outspoken on how disgusted they are with the grooming gangs and all that kind of stuff. Whereas every one of these people that I converse with on the internet, I'll say, listen, like, how could you not be outspoken about what's going on? And they go, what about Epstein? I say, what about Epstein? I don't worship Epstein. I've got no interest in any of that. And I see them, they never come here with me because they can't, but I've seen loads of them recently going at a lot of other, what they call far right, or what everyone else would just call normal people, going, you don't speak out about this, you don't speak out about that. Whereas on my page, if you're a white geezer and you happen to be a bacon bunce, I'm gonna rip you a new one. I don't care whether you're white, black, Asian, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, whatever. I'm not religious in any way, shape or form. I can't stand religion. When I'm abroad, I love to go to churches and have a look around because I like the architecture and that. But if I'm honest, I think religion is all a little bit noncy. I think like God knows what the Jews have been up to. Like the stuff that I'm hearing, I have no idea whether it's true or not. But the stuff you hear about the old 4B2s, what they're up to, God knows what's going on. The grooming gangs is an undeniable thing. 250,000 young, predominantly white, British, working class girls have been groomed, raped, and had all sorts of stuff done to them by, I think it's 90% or plus Pakistani Muslim men. That's undeniable. The Catholic Church have been fingering choir boys for as long as I've been alive. I can't stand none of it. I can't stand the old religious thing. I'm not religious, and I'm extremely sorry if I do offend anyone who is religious, but I genuinely believe that I'm far too intelligent for that. I think if you believe in religion, then you must believe that dinosaurs don't exist. And I'm thinking, well, like, it baffles my mind how people can be so over the top infatuated with something which, for me, has got about as much evidence as a Superman comic. Like, in reality, that's how I look at it. I think, like, I might as well just go and say I worship Spider-Man because I've seen his films, I've seen his cartoons, I've read his magazine or whatever. Like, what's the difference? They're like, oh, no, but it's not true. Well, how's yours true? Prove it.
If somebody come at you and lambasted you for being overtly atheist and making a mockery of other people's religions, would you take offence to it, or would you say, okay, that's down to you, I won't lose any sleep over it?
No, not in the slightest. I could not be offended. Like, you could not offend me. Absolutely every single person is well worthy of their own opinion on absolutely everything in the world. And I can't remember who it was that said it. It's going to drive me mad now because I love little quotes like this.
Offence is taken, not given.
No, I disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it.
I agree with that.
And that is one of my favourite sayings. Like, I will. So one of my good amateur boxers, he's just won the Porto Box Cup. Absolutely, I love this kid to bits. He come into my gym a 17 stone, big fat lump. He's now just turned 18. He's just come back from Portugal with his first gold medal in an international tournament. He's in higher education, so he's unfortunately got this very left-minded, indoctrinated mind. It's all, and we bicker like a married couple. His mum sits in the back laughing her head off. And she's like, I've told you lots, stop talking politics. He's like, he's just turned 18. But I love the kid to bits. And we disagree on absolutely everything. But brilliant. In my head, that's brilliant. How boring would it be if we all just thought exactly the same thing?
And when you're bickering with this guy with a different opinion to you, he doesn't say he's going to come and put a bullet in your head.
No.
And chop you up.
No, he doesn't.
And all the rest of it that comes with some people.
No, he goes, I disagree with you, but cheers, coach. Thanks for the training.
And so people that accuse you of being racist, what would you say to them? I mean, that guy on the phone called you a racist, but then he completely ruined his message because he then said you're a white cunt. But apart from that gentleman that gave you a call there, people that call you racist, like, what would you say to them?
Do you know what? It very rarely ever happens. It's on
the internet, isn't it?
It's on the internet. It's people that are sitting in their mum's box room, no profile picture on their profile, no real name, probably sitting there knocking one out to videos of sloshers on OnlyFans, and they talk a load of rubbish. But I've never once in my life ever had someone say to me, you're a racist. Because I'm not. And anyone who knows me in person knows I'm not. I used to be. I was. Like, I could show you. In fact, I'll find a picture now. Like me, probably 20 odd years ago.
You are now going to get the people saying I'm not racist because I got a black friend. They like to use that when you provide that kind of evidence.
Yeah, that's what they all do. I ain't racist. I got a colour TV. I was literally the most patriotic geezer you could ever meet. And I would, when I was boxing in my younger days, like in the amateurs, I would have St George Frost shorts. I'd wear my England vest with the most amount of pride you've ever seen in your life. And I just didn't want to ever leave this country. This country for me it was the best thing ever. But since over the last 10 years, though, probably since I come out of Nick, it's just took a right turn. I can't even find it. It's too much. It's took a right turn, and I've begun to loathe the country. I can't stand it because of the way it's going. And
what do you dislike about the country the most?
everything that the government has to do with this country, it's just awful. It's like I go abroad quite a fair bit. I haven't been too much this year, but like last year I was abroad 18 times, and I'll go and speak to people. Like whatever country I'm in, I'll learn a bit of lingo, and I'll try and adapt to their ways. Like I went to Egypt with my best mate Mo, and I'm going in the mosque with him because I'm in his country. I'm gonna, when in Rome, do as the Romans. Went there. I've got no interest in it, but he wanted to go there, so of course I'll go with you. Of course I'll go and experience it. And if you come to England, speak English, do as English do that. So when I go abroad, I'm exactly the same. I'm in Italy all the time, and I'll go in there and I'll order a drink and that, and I'll talk Italian to the point that they start rabbiting, and I go, I'm not, and they go, but I'll do it wherever I go. I try and assimilate with their culture, with their ways, try and learn a bit of language, try and get by as best as I can so that they can accept me a bit more. Like I deal with international promoters all the time, and they absolutely love me just for the pure fact that rather than me writing English, I'll go on Google Translate and I'll send them messages in their own language, and they love working with me for that reason, just because of that. And I generally, like, when I go to these countries though, and I'll go to these countries and I'll talk about all the stuff that's going on in England, and they look at me like I've lost the plot. Like I'll go to Italy and I'll say, "Oh, do you have like the transgender people and all that?" And they're like, "Excuse me?" And I'll show them like a video off TikTok or something, and they're like, "What? That don't happen, does it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "It's only just okay to be gay over here. Like, you can't pretend you're a bird or pretend you're a geezer if you're the opposite." And every country I've been to is pretty much exactly the same as that, apart from England, where absolutely everything in the world has to be accepted. If you don't agree with it, you're a bigot, and you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, because you don't agree with all this ridiculous wokeness that this country has become. It's peculiar, this gaff.
Yeah, peculiar is a very good word to use. It has become more and more fucking insane, if you ask me. You see them threats that you're receiving.
Yeah.
For somebody to get on a phone, get your phone number, and actually make that call, it's clearly not a staged conversation. See, for me, that's a grave concern. Like, that's a worry for me. I don't think anything's said, unless it's directly about someone's mother, for example. Yeah. Even words, really, they don't justify threats like that. Is there any part of you that's concerned about those threats? And what would you do if you got ambushed, or you had a group of people turning up to your gym that actually wanted to kill you, like that guy was saying?
Do you know what? I don't know. I've never really thought about it too much because, again, like I say, I can't imagine if there was anything in it that they would ring up. If I'd done a lot of stuff in my younger days, and I'm certainly not going to ring the geezer up and tell him that I'm going to come and do it before I do it. I'd be more worried about the ones who ain't ringing me, who might be waiting and jumping around a corner or something like that. But if people are going to be that narrow-minded and that closed-minded and can't take a bit of criticism on maybe what they believe in or whatever, then they're just completely out of mugs, in my opinion. Like, someone could say what they want to me, and it would not bother me.
But you know the people that you object to, the radicals,
Yeah.
the Islamists.
Yeah.
You're happy having it with the Muslim community. You have banter with them, you have disagreements, but it doesn't stem into like threats of violence. But it's the radical leg of Islam that you don't like. Some argue the fact that Islam is just radical. That's a completely different debate. But it's the Hezbollah, the ISIS crew, the Hamas type subscribers that you strongly object to, and you don't want them in the country, and they're who you're aiming your fury at. They are capable of doing that shit, though.
Let's be honest. If someone come and iron me out, then it's going to be in the newspaper and go, oh no, this happened, blah blah. No one's really going to give a monkeys. Where if someone ironed out an actual political figure that's a real political activist or something,
and Widdicombe recently,
then obviously it's going to hold a lot more weight.
That was obviously from a fucking fanatical leftist, by the looks of things.
Well, have you seen the picture of the geezer who supposedly done it?
But they keep changing. They all look very different.
I was going to say, so the white British man who they put a picture of doesn't look anything like the court sketch.
No. And what other things have you said that I've missed that could be considered outlandish on a podcast or on your social media?
Do you know what?
Maybe to you they don't seem outlandish, but honestly, my DMs have blown up with your name.
I get loads of the LGBT, HDV, TV people moaning at me because I can't stand them. Like, if you're gay, be gay. Crack on. I could not give a monkeys. Does not bother me in the slightest. So now I follow this group on Twitter called Gays Against Groomers, and I quote them all the time because basically it's just a bunch of gay geezers, but they hate what this LGBT stuff has become, and their reason is, what they say is, we do not need a flag to fly, just so he can bang his mate or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like the only people that are attracted to really bright, colourful flags are children. And so these gays against groomers, they literally, I've watched so many videos of them, and they'll stand up in court and that when they're being sued for all sorts, and they'll say, look, anyone that flies a pride flag is a nonce. They are trying to indoctrinate children. The same with the camp voices. Like, I've got I ain't going to call them mates, but I've got a few acquaintances who are gay, and they just talk like normal blokes. Like, one might be a bricklayer, one might be an electrician, and one might be a carpet fitter or whatever, and they just talk like normal blokes. But all this camp voice that they put on, and it's been proven that it's put on by this Gays Against Grooming group. They done a study, and what they had was a load of these very camp gays. They'd been put on general anaesthetic, and when they come round from the general anaesthetic, they talk in their normal voice until they remember, oh no, I've got to tell the world I'm a gay, and then hey, and start talking in that stupid voice. And that's the bit I can't stand. That drives me absolutely insane, because like, why? I don't get, right, if you're a bloke and you want another bloke to be attracted to you, why would you try and talk like a girl when the bloke who you want to attract to you is supposed to fancy blokes? It doesn't compute in my head. And when these lot turned around and said it's because they're trying to indoctrinate children, then it made sense. And I was like, wow. And I've had loads of stick as well off the furry lot. Do you know about them?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I've got a young lad at my gym, and he said something once. I was like, hold on a minute. I said, let me record you. I said to his mum, I was like, is this all right? She went, of course it is. And he got in trouble at school because he pulled a tail off of a cat.
Not a real cat.
Well, that's what I've sort of had a go at him, saying, You've done what, you little toe rag? And he went, well, it hissed at me and this, that. I was like, what? And then, so basically, they've got these things called furries, where mentally insane parents let their kids dress up and identify as an animal. And he got banging trouble at school because he pulled the tail off one of them. And I put a reel up of it, and the hate I was getting, saying that I'm encouraging children to bully people, this, that and the other. I'm thinking, how can you consider yourself to be sane if you let your kid dress up as a cat and think it's a cat? Like, I've got a mate whose daughter got kicked out of school because she was wearing mascara. You ain't allowed to wear makeup, blah, blah, blah. He's had to go into school to have a talk with the headmaster and all that, and was like, no, look, fair enough. You shouldn't be wearing makeup, he said to her. How dare you, don't do that again. But he said when he's gone into school, there was loads of boys wearing mascara and that. So he's gone to the headmaster and went, how come she's been kicked out because she's wearing makeup, but I've just seen loads of boys down the corridor and they're wearing makeup? And the school headmaster went, oh no, but that's fine. That's because they identify as girls, so we have to let them do that to make them feel more feminine. So you can't wear makeup if you're a girl, but if you're a boy and you want to pretend to be a girl, you're a lad. And like, absolutely, like, they've got cat litter trays in the toilet for these furry. The world has gone absolutely mad.
Well, can you imagine if somebody said this to you, that this would be a reality? Let's just say someone said this to you 10, 15 years ago, that in 10, 15 years' time, boys can wear makeup at school and pretend to be girls, and you can also go in wearing a cat uniform and pretend to be a cat and meow and drink your milk from a litter tray, and if someone pulls your false tail off, you can complain to the teacher and everyone's in trouble.
I'd have said they'd lost the plot. I'd have said they've lost the complete and utter plot. Like, if I'd have gone into school and done anything like that, I'd have expected to get my head pounded. I'd have expected to take a good hiding.
I think when I was at school, if I'd have gone to the teacher and said, I feel like I'm a cat, there would be some serious, I'd imagine social services would be called on my mum. I'd imagine there'll be some kind of mental health team called immediately to sit there and assess me.
Rightly so. I have these arguments with these people all the time. So, well, where do you draw the line? They go, what do you mean? If they want to be a cat, they can be a cat. If they want to be a raccoon, they can be a raccoon. Okay. So what if the little boy wants to be a soldier and he comes to school with a gun? Is that okay? And they go, well, no, because that's ridiculous. So what's the difference? Well, it's just ridiculous. Like, and all these people that identify as this, that and the other. What if Steve, the 45-year-old bricklayer, now identifies as an 8-year-old girl? What, is he allowed to go and play in the park with all the other 8-year-old girls? Like, where do you draw the line on
that's
this?
the thing of all the identity politics. Where does it end? And it just gives people so many openings to basically fucking get away with real bad, dangerous behaviour.
Have you seen what they've brought out now? They've added it to the LGBTQ plus thing, and it's called MAPS.
No, minor attracted person.
Minor attracted person.
Yeah, they'll push that through. That's coming.
There's a rally in Hyde Park from soon, and I'm like, how is this? How am I even on this planet when they're allowed to say that they want to bang kids?
And I tell you what I find strange. I mean, you're probably more active on the other social media platforms than I am, because I kind of upload clips from the podcast to let people know what to expect and hopefully they enjoy it. But there's like TikTok, for example. You can go live on there and adults seem to be able to talk to children. Like
Darren G.
Well, exactly. Yeah,
like Darren G.
I weren't going to mention, but exactly like him. What are your thoughts on him?
He's a complete and utter sausage. So I was quite big on TikTok purely because I do the TikTok boxing. I invented the TikTok boxing shows. I invented the TikTok title, the international influencer title. Now every man and their dog copies me. They all try to do the same. And I was quite big on there. But like when I go on there, so they do these things called battles, and they sit there and basically beg people to send their money in. I say, no, I don't want your gifts. Don't send it. I don't want your money. I'll go work. Like, I don't want you to send me your money. But they'll sit there and have these battles. And so I've put up a load of clips of Darren G the other day. And then I've seen him put on Twitter, no, this is ridiculous. This girl weren't a minor. And I can tell you why she weren't a minor, because you have to be 18, blah, 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 for TikTok, this and the other.
Well, that's a lie.
Well, you do, but it's only just come into effect very, very recently.
Yeah, then videos of him talking to
But
children.
that was years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you had to be 13.
Yeah, it's literally only just come out within the last few months where they sort of age verify things and that. But it's still full of kids. It's full of kids on there. And when you got a girl literally saying, you're arguing with a minor, how can you dispute that she's a minor? When the girl's going, you got another girl on there calling him a nonce, like you're a nonce. And he's rapping to him, saying what he's going to do to him. And what a despicable, horrible creature that is. Like, what an absolute scumbag. And from everyone I know up that neck of the woods, he's one of the most hated people ever. Like, he apparently lives in some, like, weird sheltered accommodation, ain't allowed around in his own local area because no one can stand him and everyone wants to weigh him in. He's just a freak of nature, a weird, peculiar man.
I mean, let's go back to when you was in jail, for example, and it's their first day on the wing and it's widely known and reported, and it's not like it's hearsay, like it's actually been seen and heard with eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Millions of times now, because those segments of Darren G have gone completely viral where he's talking to two very young girls. How old they are, we don't actually know,
No.
but they look very young.
Yeah.
And he's in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
And there's a part where he references engineering that they will put their finger in his bum. He said, be careful what you say. Roughly these words. It's out there for everyone to see.
Or I'll make it happen.
I'll make it happen. So if someone like him was to get sent to jail and people on that wing knew that he'd been talking to very young-looking girls online, talking about engineering them finger in his bum, rapping to other young girls about how he's going to come inside them and all this madness, and then another young girl saying you're actually beefing with a minor, and then someone else calling him a nonce who's a child, looks like a child. I mean, let's just say, for example, they're 17.
Yeah.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say, but, they're certainly not women he's talking to. They're clearly young girls.
100%.
What would happen to a man like that in jail?
First things first, I know 1,000,000% if he's going to nick, he's going on numbers. He'll go on numbers, Rule 43. He'll be put on what they call the VP wing, which is for nonces, grasses, and people that don't want them going to normal population. He's a very strange character because he sits on TikTok and he'll be sitting there live all day with hundreds of people watching, people that send him money, and they think he's this actual proper top gangster. I'm thinking, well, if he was, he certainly wouldn't be talking about it on the internet. He certainly wouldn't have to have you lot sending him money to fund his lifestyle. But yeah, if he ended up in Nick, I think he'd get seriously hurt because, yeah, for everyone I've spoke to from that neck of the woods who's proper, he's a very hated man up there.
And let's go back to you, jail, where everything you've experienced in your life, and I'm very surprised by how you've come across. I thought you'd be so completely unfiltered from what I've seen on social media that, yeah, this was very mild in comparison to where I thought it was going to go. So I thought I could see you ended up back in jail, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe you're more calmer than you seem when you're on the internet doing very short videos. Can you see yourself going back to jail ever?
Never. No, I've got no need to go back there. I couldn't be away from my children. I could not be away from my children. I love my little babies too much. I could not do that. Could not do that to them, and I couldn't do it to myself. I couldn't handle it. I got nicked the other day, and I was like, no, but honestly, and I think it's because of social media. I generally do.
But do you know what? I think that your social media can get you in serious trouble. What some of the things that you're saying, because they're very quick.
Well, I genuinely believe that I got nicked the other day because of social media, and so I'm sitting in a chair like I am now, and I'm looking at my boxing ring. I've got a couple of lads in there shadow boxing, and I've heard, "Please don't move." I've straight away just assumed it's one of my mates having a laugh. So I've just not even moved. I've just sat there and I'm just watching them shadow box, and the boys in the ring there. and I see him looking at us. I thought, hold on a minute. So I've turned around and there's 15, 20-year-old Bill in my gym. I said, what are you here for? I go, well, we don't want to say in front of your clientele. I said, say it, mate. I've got nothing to hide. I said, crack on. And they went, oh, we're here to search a place for drugs. We're nicking you for importation. So, bearing on, I've had a fight at the weekend. I was supposed to fight the month before, but I'd lost my passport. And I said, I ain't got a fucking passport. So what have I imported? They went, well, we'll get to that when we get to the station. I've got there. They've said, I'll join a brief. I said, yeah, go for it. Like, I don't need one, but might as well. So they've sent me around the duty solicitor. She's come round and said, like, you know, you can tell me what's going on. I was like, I've got no fucking idea. I said, I have no idea what is going on. Now, I live round the corner from Harwich, which obviously is the main port that comes in from Holland. So I'm under the assumption that something's coming from there. Maybe someone I've known has got my phone number on their phone or something. And I've got all these different wild things going through my head. And I'm thinking, what is it going to be? So they've took me into the interview. And they said, yep, so we've got a parcel. There's £650,000 worth of high-grade herbal cannabis at Heathrow Airport. Heathrow fucking airport? I mean, yeah, Mohammed so-and-so found it. I said, oh, of course it was fucking Mohammed, wasn't it? They went, what do you mean? I said, don't worry, go on, carry on. They said, oh, yeah, it's, we've got a big concrete ornamental bench, garden bench. I said, all right. I said, so what was the garden like? They said, what do you mean? I said, the garden at my gym, what was it like? They said, you ain't got a garden. I said, what do I need a garden bench for then? They said, you don't? I said, well, do you not think it'd be more believable if I was going to get stuff delivered? They'd be like inside boxing bags or something. And they was like, and then they went, well, we put it to you that you've got this delivered so that you can do it. So I went, I don't think you have, mate. And they went, sorry, what? And then the brief went, shut up, because I'd already said to her, I said, listen, I've not done nothing wrong. I said, but can I just answer every question with, I don't think you have, mate, because of Henry Novak. And she went, no, don't. She went, if you ain't done nothing wrong, don't cause no drama. But I had to get it in there once. And it was the quickest interview I've ever had in my life. But like, I used to be a toe rag. I was in that at the police station my whole childhood. And you very rarely, I don't think I've ever been in a police station before and I'm not there at least 18 hours plus. I was in that police station within about 2 hours. The interview was about 10 minutes.
Did they take your phone?
They took my phone.
That's what they wanted.
And so as soon as I got out, I've turned around, I've gone and obviously not charged nothing. So what they do now is they, rather than bailing you or anything, they do what they call released under further investigation. And for that, they can keep hold of your phone or whatever indefinitely. And I was like, I said to him, I said, you've just took my phone. They went, yeah. I said, what for? They went, well, we need to go through it. I said, do you want the code? He went, what, you going to give us it? I said, of course I am. I said, it's fuck all on there. I said, take it. I said, have a look through. They went, all right. So I went down, got a new SIM card and all that. Got another blower. I posted it up on Instagram, said this happened, and everyone just said exactly the same thing. Everyone went, they want your phone. They went, they want your phone. He said, you've obviously, you've been seen at quite a few marches. You know Tommy Robinson, you know this person, you know that person. They said they're obviously a little bit interested in what's going on with you politically and if you're involved in anything like that. I was thinking, I'm just a kid who teaches people how to fight and punches someone every now and again.
They'll be wanting to fish around to try and find something that's not there.
Well, this is the thing. So when I've come out of the gym and they've loaded me into the van, there's all armed old Bill out there. Now, they always use armed old Bill with me because I've got firearms warnings against me from when I was younger and all that. So there's always his armed old Bill. So I've literally gone to the lad who was shadowboxing in the ring and went, take my keys. I said, when they finish, can you just lock up for me? And he went, yeah, sweet. I went, is that all right, to the policeman? And he went, yeah, fine. I was thinking, nah, there's no way in a million years would they have ever have just said, yeah, that's fine. And then after, so once I got out now, I spoke to the lad, and he went, Tom, they didn't even search. He went, they literally went into your office, come out of a load of paperwork. He said, oh, we need to look under the ring. Literally went like that under the ring. Nothing. Didn't have a sniffer dog. So I've gone to the business next door, said, can I have a look on your CCTV from the other day? He went, yeah, of course. He went, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? I said, what do you mean? He went, well, we've looked at the CCTV. He went, how come none of them went down the side or down the back of the building? I was like, yeah, nothing had. I'm 99% certain they just wanted to get hold of my blower. Literally, I was in and out of there so quick, and the brief, she was even like, I think within the first 10, 15 minutes of me talking to her before the interview, I think she thought I was just playing it on with her. Like when we got out, she come out, she went, you really ain't got a clue what's going on, have you? I said, nah. She went, I've never seen nothing like it in my life.
Yeah, I think now because you've become vocal on social media and you've pushed the boundaries of free speech, should we say, they'll now want to either try and find something to shut you up or just shut you up or put that little, like the whole process is the punishment. Just having you out there thinking there's an investigation still pending is not nice for most people. But just to wrap this up, because I could pick your brains forever.
Yeah.
But all good things must come to an end for now. And if you stay out of jail and you don't get in trouble and no one's come to your gym to kill you, then we'll do a part 2 next year.
Definitely.
But what does the future hold for you, and what would be your final message to anyone listening and watching that may have the wrong idea about you?
Right, so the future holds to me. I've got a very good sponsor on board, Nick Harvey, and together we're going to push up through the boxing rankings. We're going to go and win a load of titles, and we're going to put ourselves on the map and do things the hard way, because boxing in this country certainly is incredibly corrupt. In terms of myself, anyone who's got the wrong idea about me is obviously a little bit retarded. Like any Stevie Wonder can see, I'm just a normal geezer. I'm a dad. I'm just a bloke. I go to work, I train people, I train myself. That's all I do. I don't agree with what's going on in this country, and nor does anyone else. I get called far right on a daily basis, and like the people that are calling everyone far right, what they're calling is basically anyone who's normal is considered far right, and I just think they're all backwards. I think Elon Musk said it the other day. He's like the lunatic left. Like that's who's calling everyone far right. The lunatics on the left, because I'm just normal. I'm a normal geezer, just normal bloke, but I'm also very vocal, and I don't give monkeys about telling people exactly how I feel.
And if you like the sound of people that don't give a monkeys how they feel, and you want to see more normal blokes appear on the podcast, then like and subscribe to the channel so you can see more of the same. I can't guarantee how long your social media platforms are going to be up and running due to the stuff you say, but I will put every single link in the description so you can go and follow him and just get a feel of his fibre as to what he's all about when he lets rip. But I do hope that you stay out of trouble and don't get arrested or killed, for God's sake. But I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.